Welcome to this video. This video will be the accountability product of the professional product written by Eric Plagge. So the agenda for today, first we're going to have a little look at the professional product, the grade that was given there, and discuss some feedback given on the professional product. Then we'll look at the context in which the professional product was written, some obstacles that were encountered as a result of the context that it was written in, and then we will address several solutions and eventually one final solution that incorporates all the different solutions. So first, the professional product. Final grade was a 9. Of course, I have to say I was very happy with this grade. But still, there were some improvement points, and one of those improvement points was that there should be more novel aspects could have been implemented. I can see where that comes from. I mean, the professional product itself might not something that has been seen very often. However, within the solution, we could I could have made use of more novel elements to really stand it apart from a standard solution. So it also said I should focus more on non-measurable spin-off. First, I wasn't really sure what was meant with that, but when I really got into it, I figured out, that I really focus on the measurable aspects and the really tangible outcome of it. However, there is of course also some non-measurable spin-off to be generated from this, which is hard to measure, but it's not something that should be taken, not per se lightly, but not something that should be overseen. So I should really focus on that, and that's something that I will take into consideration at a later stage. Some other reflections that were also mentioned really showed that it was something that I wrote from my own point of view, of course, in the context of my own business case, which was really shown in the professional product. Moving on then, the context of which the professional product was written was a business plan for a hospitality agency called Animo. The value proposition of this company is customized hospitality service, which is provided by knowledgeable and skilled team members. And it focused on a segment with a little bit more of a higher income and with a specific characteristics of a willingness to spend on quality. From this value proposition and this focus on higher segment, we can already see that we need a genuine, knowledgeable, and skilled team members, and we need a very specific target group that is willing to spend sometimes a substantial amount of money on certain services. So there's a couple of problems that arise from this context and that needed a solution. So like I said, we need customers for a business to take this, to buy these services, purchase the services. These services will then eventually generate money. Money is needed in order to operate the business, pay certain expenses, payroll costs. Other costs that are generated by operating the business all need to be covered, and therefore money needs to be generated via these customers. Another one is, of course, skilled team members. The business fully evolves around offering services, and if there's not enough skilled team members within the business, then the value proposition will not be properly conveyed, and basically the entire core of which the business was built falls apart, basically. So for this, several solutions could be generated. Of course, a marketing campaign could be started in order to generate some business, maybe over social media. Could have been done by word of mouth, by generating some buzz around the company and see if some customers could be generated via that way. Of course, friend and family could be contacted to be initial customers of the company, and then generate some money there. Pros and cons. You can reach a large audience with marketing campaigns. It could be potentially free, and the cons would be there's not really a focus group that you can focus on. It's hard to measure. There's no really evaluation of the actual service, and it's possibly only short term. The solution for money, of course, would be as it goes hand in hand with customers. We could take out some short-term loans. No customers, no money. So that's really something that goes hand in hand. Pros and cons is you only get money if you get customers, and if you don't get customers and you need to cover some certain expenses, then you need to take out loans, and these on the long term will cost you money. So that's a very risky endeavor. Solution for skilled team members would be to recruit via instructors of the NSTV. We can either recruit via friends, friends of the of team members of the company already. They might have friends that are willing to work with and for the company. That could be a way. And in order to generate skilled team members, we cannot expect a team member to know everything. So the company has to train these team members both on general aspects of gastronomy, of general aspects of the company, as well as specific elements of the company that come forward in the service, which is food, wine, could be beer, could be coffee, could be anything related to either a specific event or some general elements of the company. Pros and cons here. Of course, you have a selection of the selection by recruiting via the instructors. It's relatively efficient. Some cons would be, depending on the instructor to generate your or to get new team members. Of course, is a risky business. There's no real indication of skills and knowledge prior to recruiting a person. Of course, this is a risk that's always there. But still, it's something that should be taken into consideration. And in terms of training, organizing trainings unrelated to specific events, it might generate some extra expenses in the purchase of products. If trainings are going to be outsourced, there's expenses to be related to that. So, in order to generate a solution that incorporates all the other solution and basically solves a range of problems that would derive from the context, the final solution is a promotional dinner. Why a promotional dinner? It's going to be a 6-course dinner accompanied with a 6 course of wine. The guest list will be specifically designed for potential customers that come from the customer segment. There will be 2 trial team members working that promotional dinner together with two of the already existing team members of the company. There will be training sessions held on topic of the actual dinner, as well as general training sessions, or of course the general training throughout the entire evening. And the dinner will be documented on video, and afterwards an after movie will be created. So how does this solve what? Looking at customers by really targeting a specific market and inviting specific customers, we really allow these customers to get a direct evaluation of the service, and they can really see what the company stands for, what is it trying to convey, what does it do, what does it believe in. What are the team members I can expect to work at my own personal dinner event. It's both long and short term, as there might be some direct business generated from the actual customers that are there, and they of course can also generate some buzz already around the company and this specific dinner, which might lead to a more long term generation of business, which in then can lead to some continuity in the business. In terms of money, by generating customers, we automatically generate business and therefore money. Skilled team members, we have 2 potential team members on site there that can be evaluated. How do they work with the guests? How do they approach the guests? How are they translating this hospitality element as something of their own, and how do they work within the team? How do they work with the already current team members? It really gives you a clear evaluation of the team members. We can have specific trainings on the elements that are discussed there on that day, on the wines, on the food. How are we going to approach this? Table settings. Why are the tables set in this way? So very specific topics of that specific event, as well as some general elements that can be discussed throughout the entire evening. What are do's and don'ts at the table in general? What are do's and don'ts in general for this company specifically? So these are all things that can be incorporated in an event like this. Another additional benefit is, of course, to work together with partners. The company aims to work together with catering companies and private chefs, etc. And by inviting them to work together with these promotional events, we can really get in line with the partners to see, how do they communicate, how do they work, what do they stand for, etc., etc. because it really usually takes a couple of times to working together with a partner to get in line and to really see eye to eye there. All right, I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope this was clear, and yeah.